So today I decided to bring Carrie on and just chat with her about her journey with losing to gain. And for those of you who didn't get to see her first interview, we talked about a month into her progress, and she was making amazing progress at that point. But now, fast forward, what, like 8 or 9 or almost 10 months
Yeah.
since she began, she has reached a pretty big milestone. So I wanted to celebrate with her and just congratulate her. And I did want her to just share a little bit about how it went for her and what was it that made this stick when other things in the past may not have stuck. Stuck? Stuck in? I'm just kidding. Um, and yeah, just super curious what the difference was and then how this journey has gone for her. So I guess my first question, and I think I asked this last time, but what was it, because there's so many things out there. We see so many options out there. What made you decide to try losing to gain?
Um, I think I was out of excuses, I think, and I had just had enough. I was ready for a change, and I thought, here's a way to do it with accountability, with a group of people, like we're all in a similar situation, yet we're still independent. We're still doing this on our own, but we do have the accountability. And I was just kind of tired of feeling bad about myself, tired of feeling bad physically. So I was like, you know what? Why not? It's a new year, so it's a good time for resolutions, right?
Oh yeah. Can you share what like a few things that maybe you had tried in the past?
Pretty much the only thing that I had officially like ever signed up for and tried any other program I did was Noom. And I maybe stuck with that for 2 months. It was exhausting. I got really tired at the end of the day of being like, oh my gosh, what did I eat? How many calories was that? And the inconsistency of the program, because if you've ever tried Noom, they have this database basically, and you have to log your food and you can type in your food and search for it. And even if you eat fast food, you can search for it in there. And, you might pull up a sub from Jersey Mike's and there would be like five different calorie
Mm,
counts for the
yeah.
same thing. And so basically anybody can go in there and add things and put the calorie amount in. So it was just so inconsistent and I was like so frustrated and I wasn't seeing any results with it. And I just couldn't keep up with the logging. And so I didn't stick with it long at all.
Yeah.
And basically, apart from that, had just tried to, just try and work out a little bit here and there. But I am such a picky eater. I would never mess with my diet. Like, don't mess with my food. I don't want to mess with my food.
Yeah.
Um, that makes me cranky really quick if you mess with my food. So I would never, I would never mess with that aspect of it. So this
Yeah.
was like the first time I've really committed, I feel like, to weight loss
That's amazing.
wholeheartedly.
That's amazing. So you like when you say you're picky, like were you a vegetable eater before you started this or like just certain vegetables that you tend to
Yeah.
take towards?
I do. I grew up in Boone. I'm from Boone, and so I feel like if I describe the way I eat, like it's very like country cooking. Like that's how I grew up, and my mom was an amazing cook, and it was always like meat and vegetables. So I definitely, I eat vegetables. I'm probably picky. I probably don't eat like a huge variety of them, and gosh, they're only like a select few that I will eat raw. I'll eat a lot cooked, but
Yeah.
only a few I'll eat raw. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get very adventurous. I don't like anything spicy, just keep it simple. That works for me.
Yeah. I hear ya. So okay, so as you got started with the program, did you find that like there was peace around it, or was it like, did you feel overwhelmed at first?
Definitely overwhelmed. I was definitely overwhelmed because it was so different than what I was doing.
Mm,
I wasn't eating simple plate by any means. I was not drinking enough water. I wasn't, hitting those daily steps and making that a point. I wasn't really doing any of it. And so to kind of like try and implement it all at once was really overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
So I basically, when I started, I tried to implement it all, of course, but like was like, okay, I have to step back. What's going to be practical?
Yeah.
So I had to say, okay, this week I'm really going to focus on water. And yes, I'm going to try to eat simple plate, but if I mess up here and there, like I'm not going to stress it. I'm really just going to focus on my water intake this week. And I felt like each time I would kind of focus on something for a week, it would stick a little bit better.
Yes.
And then, as I went on in the program, if I would kind of drift off from something, I would say, okay, I need to focus on that again. And each time I would kind of refocus, it would kind of stick a little bit better and, become more of my routine,
Being
I
part of your
guess.
routine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what would you say like were some of your go-to meals kind of in the beginning, or maybe even ones that you're still doing that you enjoy?
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of changed just a little bit as my journey's gone along, but I feel like definitely, definitely early on, I just try to keep it really simple. Um, I had like a veggie tray and a fruit tray in my fridge where, it was just always there. I would go to the grocery store, fill it up, at the end of the week, clean it out, fill it back up, so it was always there and it was quick. Because I feel like if it's like a whole act to have to wash everything, like you're not going to do it right. You're going to grab that
Yeah.
unhealthy thing versus the healthy thing. Um, I let's see, I did a lot of sheet pan meals for dinner,
Yes.
just whatever meat I had and whatever vegetables I had. And I would just throw it in Pinterest and like come
Can
up
I
with
make
some
it?
kind of, yeah, sheet pan meal,
I
some
love
kind of
them. Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And we still do a lot of that. We had a garden this summer, and so it was like just go out and pick whatever and just, throw it on a sheet pan and
Yeah.
it's easy, it's simple.
Did you have like certain sauces or things that like you would use to make it flavorful? I think a lot of people struggle with like, oh, I don't really want to eat vegetable, like, but I do usually recommend some sort of sauce, that can kind of spice it up a little and give it some pizzazz.
Yeah, sure. I took your recommendation and we've done like a lot of Primal Kitchen.
Yeah.
You can hand make stuff, like there's all kinds of recipes, but that was just super quick. Like when you're in a hurry, trying to get dinner on the table, yeah, those are a no-brainer. So we did a lot of those. Actually just like the classic ranch dip. I still do that with my raw veggies.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sugar in it really.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of sugar and sour cream either. So, I just kind of mix that up and I
Yeah.
still do that. I've
Yeah.
kind of done that all along.
Yeah. No, that's great. Super
Yeah.
straightforward. Everybody loves ranch.
Yeah.
Um, so when you started to come up against like those feelings of like feeling unmotivated, or I'm kind of tired of eating these foods, or maybe, after a holiday hits, what kept you continuing on the path all
I
these
think
months?
the progress I was seeing,
Yeah.
once you go that first month and you're like, oh my gosh, I've lost weight, let's see if I can do it again. And then at some point it's like you just want to maintain that, you just want to keep that going. And I've kind of figured out you can have a special day, like Chris and I just had our anniversary this month, the beginning of this month, and we went out of town and we're like, okay, we're not going to worry about what we eat. And, we just went to a restaurant and ate whatever, and it was like, oh my gosh, we felt terrible after, like what we
Right.
thought was going to be so good.
Yeah.
Um, but you can still, go out and have a special day and it's not going to change the scale. It's
Yeah.
okay to do
Yes.
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you know that like it's not all or nothing,
Yeah.
that along with the progress,
Right.
like kind of keeps you on the path because there's wiggle room. And
Right.
but yeah, I totally agree with you that seeing progress is, especially for people who are goal oriented, that just will light
Right.
you up. It brings so much hope. And then of course you notice like the difference, like when you guys had your anniversary meal, you see the difference in how you felt versus like how you feel when you're eating, you know, better choices. So that
Yeah.
helps too, I think. What kind of exercises have you been doing or did you do throughout?
Yeah. So when I started, I basically started with the steps, and it was winter, right? So it was hard for us to get our steps in. We were
Yeah.
really struggling with that. I think a lot of us in that first group were struggling with that. And I we have an elliptical in our basement, and so that was my go-to initially, like probably my first 3 months. Like I hit that elliptical pretty hard. And it got the job done, did great, and I would do weights like when I could. I was kind of averaging like once a week, probably trying to shoot for two.
Yeah.
Um, and then that worked really great for a few months, and then I kind of plateaued for like a whole month and didn't see any progress at all.
Yeah.
And so
Progress, like
progress,
on the scale,
nothing
probably, right?
visible, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nothing that I could pull apart like I had been seeing. So that's, when I talked to you and we like revamped my workouts, and I focused a lot less on the elliptical because I was kind of getting bored with that, and like spring was coming, I could get
Yeah.
outside more.
Yeah.
So I started focusing just more on hitting the steps every day. I don't do it every day. I still don't do it every day. Like there are days
I
when I
don't
don't
either.
get it
No,
done, but
no.
I try.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm trying to lift 3 times a week if I can. Lifting heavy, like
Yeah.
as heavy as I can. So,
Had you ever done that before?
no, I feel like I've kind of lifted on and off my whole life, but I feel like I had read something or heard something at some point, like probably when I was in college, I feel like was probably when it was big. It was like if you just want to tone, like you need to do what is it, like lighter weights and more
Lighter,
reps.
more rep. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of what I was doing, and you challenged me with that, and you're like, no, and you gotta do heavier, you gotta lift
Yeah.
heavier. That kind of gave me permission to lift heavier. I've never really lifted 20-pound weights before,
Yeah.
so
I know. And the guys in the
it's
gym were like, whoa, girl, work it. That's yeah, I know I had a guy the other day. I have pushed up to a pretty heavy bench press and he came over and he's like, "Are you sure you, you want to stick with that?" I was like, I think I can do it. Thank you." Yeah, so that's a big change. I mean, like, and for those who are not familiar with losing to gain, like, it's not something that I push. It's not something that I force. I think the steps are great foundation. Um, and as people progress and as they grow and as these habits start to stick, like Carrie's saying, then you can kind of start to add these other things like lifting or whatever it is. But yeah, I love that that has been something that you've embraced and that it's been helpful for you. Are you starting to see definition?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else can see it, but I can see it.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
all that matters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Um, I can, yeah, and it's slow. It's a slow go. It's definitely
Yeah, it
not a
is
quick
not
thing.
overnight.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but I can tell it's there, and it's helped with the weight loss too. I feel like it kind of helped push me through that plateau and help me start losing weight again. The weights have helped a lot with that.
that's awesome. Okay, so have you seen any other kind of like physical changes or like mental, digestive, sleep, anything like were you on some sort of pharmaceutical and that you were able to get off of, or like anything like that that you've noticed other than just the scale or inches?
So I feel like definitely I've kind of always struggled with digestion, and that has improved like immensely.
Mm,
So much better. Energy level, like I do feel better. I
hmm.
kind of have like this fatigue disorder that I battle.
Yeah.
Um, and so I have my moments where like I feel really good, and so I push myself too hard.
Yeah.
And then, I kind of pay for it for a few days, and I have to rest and get back at it. I'm just trying to figure all that out. But
Yeah.
I do overall in general, I would say I do feel better.
Hmm.
I've feel like I'm more active with my kids, instead of
Hmm.
like getting home from school and let's lay around. It's like, no, let's go for a walk.
Go
Let's
do
go for a
something.
bike ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can tell a big difference there.
I hate that you still struggle with the fatigue syndrome, but I also like, I think it's inspiring that despite the fact that you struggle with that and that you still struggle with that, with all the work you've done, that you continue to just keep going forward. You haven't used that as like an excuse, like, I can't really do anything because I had this fatigue. Like a lot of people love to just use their issues as a scapegoat or scapegoat, is that the right word? As a way to say like, oh, like I don't think it would work for me because I have this or that. But
Yeah.
despite what you deal with, you push
Mm,
through anyway, and you listen to your body, so you're not
right.
like always trying to push through. But um, yeah, I think that's a cool testament to you and how motivated you've been. Do you think so now that you've reached your goal, are you willing to share like the goal that you had and where
Yeah,
you are?
sure. I lost 30 pounds. And when I initially set my goal, so if I look back in my binder, my packet that you sent out, I put it all in a binder. Um, my initial goal, I probably hit, I don't know, probably a month ago, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, I think so.
And then I kind of went back and revamped it because I looked at my goal and I was like, oh, that's 28 pounds. Like, that's silly. I might as well just shoot for 30. But my
Right.
goal is pre-baby weight. So that was what I was going for. And so I've hit it. Now I do not have my pre-baby body,
Right.
I
Right.
say,
None of us do. Yeah.
which is totally okay.
Yeah.
Um, but I did it. Yeah, I didn't know when I set that goal. And I remember telling my husband, like discussing that with him, like, what should I pick? Like, what do you pick for your weight loss goal? And I don't even,
It's kind
I
of
don't even,
arbitrary. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even think that's attainable to go back to pre-baby weight.
Yeah.
But I mean, why not shoot for it?
Yeah. You never
Right? Like
know.
I've been there at one point. Maybe I can get there again. I felt like I was healthy, before I had my boys. I was at a healthy weight and I felt good. And so I thought, why not just shoot for that again?
Yeah.
Not really expecting I could do it.
Right.
So I was shocked when I did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I even asked Carrie, like when she shared that she'd reached her goals, I was like, did you take a before picture? And she said no, because I didn't think I would actually do it,
Yeah,
which I think is hilarious, which, all of us have before pictures because if you've ever been
yeah,
in front of a camera. Um, and so anyway, that to me, that spoke a lot. Like that you didn't actually think you would reach your goals and you did, which is
yeah.
huge. So
And honestly, I didn't write anything down that first week at all. I started the program. I didn't weigh. I don't think I weighed, but I know I did not measure myself initially. And I didn't take the photo because I was like, I didn't believe in myself. I
yeah,
didn't believe that I could do it.
yeah.
I was really doubtful.
And you were
Um,
probably also struggling with insecurities, maybe
sure.
some shame. Like I know I had those moments too where I was like, I was afraid to weigh and measure because I didn't, I was afraid of what I was going to see and then how that was going to make me feel and like that cascade effect. And so I
Right.
was like, well, we'll just do it and see what happens. Like,
And
yeah,
so after my first week, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is huge. I mean, it was a huge difference my first week. And I went back in my binder and I even went back on our page where we talked about things to see like if I told y'all how much I lost in that first week, and I didn't write it down. But like the changes I could see that first week, I was like, oh my gosh. And I was not even doing everything like
right.
even
You were
halfway.
just kind of starting to implement just a thing or two.
Yeah, I
That's
was just trying to
amazing.
figure things out. And so after that first week, I was like, okay, I need to measure myself.
Yeah.
But I still didn't believe enough to take the picture,
All
you know.
right.
So I feel like with my inches total, it's even more than that.
Oh, I bet.
Um,
Have
yeah,
you
but
added up all of your inches lost?
yes, 25 total.
Dang. My gosh. That's an
That's
entire like that's
over two
that's
feet.
that's a lot. That's
That's
huge.
insane.
Dang.
Yeah.
Um, I know. I was telling somebody that, was it yesterday, the day before? Like, she was saying that her weight was stalling and it had been for a while. And I was like, are you doing measurements? Because sometimes that happens, especially if you're lifting and your
Yes.
muscle versus, like fat and muscle are starting to calibrate a bit. You don't always see the scale change, but you do see measurement changes if you're heading in the right direction. So I always recommend to do both. And it's like not fun, the whole measurement thing isn't fun, but I heard someone say that they did it, they just chose a day. Like when I used to coach people, I always had them choose Fridays, or like Fridays was like the weigh-in measurement day. And she said she would just keep her, what is it called? The tape in the bathroom. And she had her measurements like inside her mirror or like inside her cabinet. So she could just have it all there and ready to go. And that way no one had to like see you're doing
Mm,
it and all that. So I was like, that's a good idea.
that is a good idea.
So, okay, do you have any new goals now that you've met this goal? Um, Maybe it's just that you want to maintain for life, which would be amazing. Maybe it's
Yeah.
that you want to train for something or you want to, like reach goals in the gym or whatever it is. But I'm just curious if you have something else that you're working towards now.
Yeah, definitely probably shifting more to like the weightlifting side of it and just more definition. I do still kind of have like my baby tummy that I'm still working on that.
Yeah,
I had a pretty severe ab separation.
yeah,
So I'm still working on all of that. I feel like that's going to take me some time to get there
yeah,
on that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, probably more muscle. Honestly, I probably could do a few more pounds too, but I'm not. I think more maintenance is kind of where I'm at right now, and just trying to get stronger and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, and if
of
you
it.
continue to eat simple plate style for the most part, like your body will find where it's happy, like it will start to settle in at a spot where it's comfortable and especially if you're lifting and working towards like getting stronger, um I don't know, you don't have to worry as much about what's the scale saying because you know
Right.
that it starts to balance because when your body when you have that recomposition, when the muscle starts to become more dense and the fat starts to like disappear more, then your body changes, but sometimes the scale stays the same. And so, yeah, I love, especially for like women who are enjoying lifting, to really like once they hit that period, the goal period, then they can really just focus on lifting more and building and not as and by building I don't mean like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean just like
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
stronger. So that's really exciting for you. Just a
Yeah.
cool shift.
It is.
Okay, as far as like the faith component of this program, how has this like program helped shift you and your prayer life, your faith, the way you approach and look at your body and mindset and that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely was not in the word as much as I wanted to be when I started this. And, everybody, I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, like, what was different about this versus what you've done before? What was different? And I said that surrender that we had to do initially. And, at first it is daily, like it's a daily thing because it's really hard. Those first few months are hard
Yeah.
um, and really challenging. And, like I think I said in my last interview with you, just starting your day by thanking him for these healthy foods that we have access to, having been to other parts of the world where I know they don't have it. And I've seen that, and we are lucky. We're very lucky here. And so then, I'm not going to thank him for the carrots and then complain about them at lunch.
Right.
So it helps set your mind right.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that I think is what sets this program up for success. That and its simplicity. Like it is
Mm,
simple, it's
hmm.
easy. Um, you're
Straightforward.
not tracking everything. Um, it's yeah, it's attainable and you don't have to follow it perfectly. If you
Yeah.
miss, 2 milliliters of water, it's not it's not gonna make a difference.
Right.
You eat a piece
Yeah.
of bread at dinner, it's not gonna throw you off course, you're
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
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 And I think, it set me up for being in the Word daily too, because we had to check that off. You know, you had to check off your time with the Lord, and I tried to do that before I did anything else in the program because, we know that's the most important. So before
Yeah.
I go do my workout, I'm going to do my Bible study,
Yeah.
because that time with him is the most important.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm still tracking with that and have
Oh,
a
I'm
couple
so
of
glad.
studies I'm doing with different people. So yeah, it's been
That's
good.
so great.
All the difference.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that alone to me is like all that, it's the most
Yeah.
important thing, like you said, and it sets the foundation. And that is, I'm so glad you brought up the surrender piece. It sounds odd to maybe somebody who isn't familiar with like, what does that even look like? But when you think about it, like it's such a huge part of us, part like our bodies, our one home that we get on earth, like we'll go, you may be sent all over the earth, but like you're still in the same body and it's going to be the one you'll have until you're, you know,
Yeah.
90 years old. And so, yeah, if you're continuously like getting caught up in with what the world is saying, you just get so off kilter so quickly. Trying to measure up, trying to do all these things, and like it's just frazzling and chaotic, and um, the comparison, just so much that I think the world has presented us with when it comes to our bodies and our health. And yeah,
Yeah.
so when we can surrender it and say like, God, this is your body. You created this body. Like, please do with me as you will. And it just totally shifts your mentality and things change. You see things differently and I don't know, just as a new light. Yeah.
Yeah, he fills our cups, right? Like we don't have the strength. We don't have any of that. We get all of that from him. And so, we rely on him in other aspects of our life, like our mothering and,
Yeah.
our financials. We rely on him to provide for us. So why
Yeah.
not rely on him for this too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every other aspect. Like, I think I was telling someone, like, we pray when people are sick, we pray for them. Like, when you have troubles in your home, you pray, or you seek the Lord on what you're supposed to do for your work. All these areas of our lives is pretty common knowledge. But then when you have struggles with your weight, all of a sudden it becomes this like a guilt, and something you want to hide it, like, or maybe not hide it from the Lord, but you just feel like it's not worthy
Hmm.
of his support, or I don't really know. I mean, that was my personal experience. So I know other people have different thoughts, but um, that was kind of how I thought. I just didn't think it was something he needed to be bothered with,
Right.
or that it
Exactly.
was vain. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add? Like if you were talking to a friend, like you said, you've been chatting with
Yeah.
people. Is there anything else that you've shared with them that would inspire them to try losing the game?
And just do it, no more excuses. Um, yeah, just do it. And then that surrender. And there were days that were really tough, especially early on. There were days that were really hard, and I would just find myself like wanting to complain to my husband, or just, like all in my feelings, and I would just have to stop and just give that to him and be like, you have to help me because I don't want to do this. And
Yeah.
I need to do this. And, I could keep going on like it would work. And, he provided that help I needed. I think consistency, not perfection, you've said that over and over again.
People are so tired of hearing me say that.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like you give yourself grace, and if you're too tired to get your steps in one day, it's okay, like you can go at it tomorrow and try again tomorrow.
Well, okay, so I'm glad you brought up your husband because I mean, it's a huge blessing that you had his support. I know not everybody does. And so you kind of had built-in accountability in your home, which is huge. That's a huge thing for people. And my husband also is focused on his health, so like that has been really helpful for me. He's not always, but when he is, it's really great. And so for those ladies who don't have that, it does take a little more effort, but I always recommend like finding a friend, finding somebody, like you can find someone in our support group, or our community who may be like-minded, and keep in touch, like check in with each other, support each other. I so appreciate you sharing and just, yeah, being an inspiration to all the ladies and especially me. You made me so happy. So
Oh,
exciting to see somebody who's just like doing the thing and watching it work. And yeah. Um, all right. Well, I appreciate you and I'm looking forward to seeing you reach your next goals.
thank you. I appreciate you so much and just, listening to the spirit when, he was laying this on your heart. And, I remember you saying early on, like, I haven't met all my goals and I thought I had to wait until I did, but I'm just doing it. And I'm so glad you did because it was at a time like when I really, really needed it.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing with us
You're
all your
welcome.
secrets and wisdom.
There's a lot in there. They were dying to come out.
Oh, I did think of what I was going to say really
Oh,
quickly.
good.
The Pathways episode, was that Meg that talked about
Yes,
the
the brain.
pathways? Yes. So that I have thought about that so much because my boys and my husband and I like we hike all the time and we'll make new trails in our woods or whatever. And that really stuck with me what she said about, once you do something enough, that becomes the pathway in your brain. And
Yeah.
it's so true. I mean, like now I don't even have to think about simple plate. It just happens,
Right.
like that's just what I eat all the time. And I don't have to think about how much water I drink in a day. Like, I'm just listening to my body and just, I empty it, I fill it back up. We keep
Right.
going. So I just, yeah, I did want to mention how much that episode really helped me,
I love that.
because I could, it gave me like something tangible to hold on to. Like, okay, if I can do this for X amount of time, I don't remember what it was
Yeah.
in the video, but
Like 30 or it's like 30 or 40 times maybe. I don't know. It was a
yeah,
weird
it
amount, but
wasn't a lot. And I was like, I
yeah.
can do that. It was attainable. That was like a tangible goal. And I was like, I can do that. And yeah, sure enough, like if you stick with it enough, like it's gonna become habitual. And
Yeah.
it's not gonna be such, a hard effort like this forever. Like so you hang in
Hmm.
there the first few months and then it's just gonna be your lifestyle.
Totally. Yeah, that reminded me of several people have talked to me recently, like I just don't know how to get started or when to do it or like how to make it happen. And I was like to me, it just seems, I mean, I know not everybody has the same amount of time available, like their days are full or whatever, but I'm like, you just have to figure it out. Like you need to
Yeah.
look at your day and you got to figure it out and then you just decide. I don't know, it just sounds really simple, but you have to make a plan and you just stick to it. Like it's just A plus B equals C. So yeah, like I don't say that to be ugly, but I'm like, if you have goals, you have to make a plan or you will not reach them. They don't happen organically. Yeah, I mean, praying about it, asking God for that motivation, I think is another big piece, but help me to want to honor you with my body and the choices I make. Then things do like start to shift, but anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we're in soccer season right now, so like both my kids are playing soccer and this is like the only day a week we don't have soccer. But, we're still making simple play happen for dinner and I just keep it really simple.
Yeah. And do your
That's
boys
called
eat
simple
simple
play.
plate?
To an extent, like I have one kid, he doesn't like vegetables, so he's always tricky.
Yeah.
Um,
Dip it in ranch.
yeah, right. But they're doing a lot better. Um,
Good. Good.
than they used to. Yeah. A lot less sugar in our house. If you haven't done Mary's flour, no sugar challenge, you have to do it.
Yeah. Just gotta
Um,
see the difference.
I did not want to do that. And you
And
straight up
you were
like
the first to
tagged
sign
me.
up. You were like, I'm in. Whatever
Yeah.
it is, I'm done. I'm doing it.
Yeah. And I was like tagged in that and I was like, oh man, I've got to do it. Like I've got to push myself because I again was stuck. I was like, I need to do this challenge. I didn't want to do it, but I knew I needed to. And a lot of that has stuck too. So now we're doing a lot less flour, a lot less sugar than we were
Right.
before.
You
Um,
realize like, oh, I can get by with all this and these things. These
yeah,
aren't like essentials.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so I feel like that's been huge for my kids. A lot less sugar.
So
Um,
good.
eating has
Yeah.
been great.
You're just not like bringing it in the home as much.
Exactly.
What would you say the biggest thing you noticed from doing those challenges? Yeah.
I feel a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, not as sluggish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Like
yeah.
sustained energy
Yeah.
and like no cravings
Yes.
or like the cravings really just disappear. It's so odd and so
Yeah.
cool.
You don't crash out, you know. I was at a table discussion this week and these ladies were talking about how much they depend on caffeine. Like, I just can't go without my coffee in the morning. And they were like, do you drink coffee? And I was like, I've never been a coffee fan. And they're like, what do you drink for caffeine? And I'm like, well, right now I'm not really doing caffeine a lot.
Yeah.
Um, it's pretty minimal. And they're like, I just don't know how you make it. And I'm like, I mean, like your body gets used to it, you
Yeah,
know?
your body knows what to do. It's just
Yeah, you like
okay.
detox off of it and you feel a lot better. So coffee's never been my thing. I really like tea and I really liked soft drinks. Um, so now if I drink tea, it's like with monk fruit and decaf. And I mean, I think I've had tea, I don't know, less than 5 times since I started this in January.
Like sweet tea, you mean?
Sweet tea. I
Okay.
haven't had tea, sweet tea since we started,
Oh,
really.
wow. Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, do you still struggle with wanting soda?
Yeah, I do still struggle with that, and I'll do it occasionally, but not as much as
Yeah,
I was doing, like not daily, like I was doing before. Yeah.
that's pretty incredible. So we've been going strong. This is so good. I am loving every minute of it, but I guess we should wrap it up.
Yeah, probably.
Um, well, I appreciate you coming on and just being willing to share. And I know that this can be really encouraging to so many people. So thank you, Carrie.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. I'll see you soon,
Bye.
hopefully.